So I'm gonna go over the. I think right now we're in the third round of the NFL draft. Let me see. Yeah, we're in the third round right now, and I think today after when the draft will. Yeah, so this is the last round for the day, and then tomorrow the rest of the draft will be completed. Round 4 through 7. It goes a little faster. So of course we'll go over. Of course, I'm gonna try to go over every single pick or every single important pick and give my thoughts and opinions on the picks, on the player, how I think the player might end up and stuff, or if this player might be a sleeper. Because we never know. We never know. Even though this draft is not that talented, it's very underwhelming. We never know. Maybe a player can be a really great guy. Maybe I'm not a great guy. Maybe a player that's drafted can end up being a really great player in the NFL. So I mean that happens all the time. So I'll try to do my best. I will do my best to do research on all players that are drafted and see if I can have a accurate analysis of how this guy will be. So, without further ado, we're gonna go through the first rounds, round one, and yeah, we'll just do it just like that. So of course, Fernando Mendoza went to the Raiders. David Bailey went to the Jets. David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Jeremiah Love went to Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love went to the Cardinals. I thought that was a really good pickup by the Cards. And I was actually watching that podcast or the show, The Gridiron. I think it's The Gridiron, and one of the guys on there, I think he's like a new face on there, whatever. I think he's mostly on the basketball end, but he said something that was like really weird. He said he was asking Aqib Talib and the rest of the crew. He was asking if it was a smart pick for the Cardinals to get Jeremiah Love over getting a quarterback. And my thing is that what quarterback in this draft is worth picking for the Arizona Cardinals in the first round? Like, and then he goes on and makes the statement saying that Jeremiah Love comparable to the top five running backs in the league today, such as Jamar Gibbs and he mentioned B. John Robinson, and he mentioned the Saquon Barkleys of the world. So you mean to tell me that if Jeremiah Love isn't comparable to Saquon Barkley, Jameer Gibbs, or Bijan Robinson's, that he should not have went number 3 in this year's draft to the Arizona Cardinals? Is that what you're telling me right now? I don't know the guy's name. I think he does mostly basketball segments on Gilbert's Arena or the Gridiron. But I just thought that was like one of the most dumbest statements that a person can make. Jeremiah Love, without a doubt, is the most talented player in this entire draft. I had already gave you all my statement about how I felt like he probably should have went number 1 overall because again, best player available, BPA. I even if he's not going to be a top 5 running back, which he more than likely will, and he is definitely capable of being the best back in the league. He has all of the skill sets. So even if he's not though, in this draft, he is the best player available. It would be the dumbest thing in the world for the Cardinals to draft a quarterback in the first, in the third overall pick of the first round in this draft. There is no quarterback in this draft at all that was worth going number 1. And in the first round, no quarterback, not even Mendoza. Mendoza wasn't even worth it. If this quarterback was much more quarterback heavy, Mendoza would have dropped. He really would have. So I just thought it was like I don't know where this guy was getting at. He's already talking about because the quarterback is the best. Is the most important. Is the most important position in the entire NFL in all of football. So why would they not draft a quarterback if they need a quarterback? Because the Cardinals got rid of Kyler Murray. It doesn't matter, bro. It really doesn't matter. You don't like that's again like this drafting team needs is always going to forever get you in the same spot. So I mean I don't like this is like I just thought that was really dumb. So he goes on to say that Jeremiah Love's tape doesn't jump out to him. Are you kidding me? Jeremiah Love's tape doesn't jump out to you, bro? Like what are you watching? What tape? You can't be watching Jeremiah's tape. If you're going to say I have not even I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even been watching college football, but even I know Jeremiah Love's tape jumps out. I think anybody who watched an ounce of college football period this year, they know that Jeremiah Love is the best player in this entire draft. They know that. So that's how I know this dude was not even watching the game. For him to say something as ridiculous to say Jeremiah Love's tape does not jump out to him. Bro, that just tells me that first off, your perspective, your opinion, it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter. And you should not be sitting on that couch giving your thoughts because they are completely invalid, misled, ridiculous, futile. Like, what are you talking about? He is the most Jeremiah Love is probably the most complete back that has came out of college in a very, very long time. This guy can pass. I mean, he didn't pass. He can block. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside the tackles. He can run routes. He can catch the ball. This dude can do everything. And on top of that, Notre Dame is known for offensive line. They're known for great offensive linemen. I'm a Chargers fan. Who do we have? We have Joe Alt, one of the great offensive tackles in the league right now. So I'm talking about, okay, my fault. I'm talking about this guy on the gridiron. Gabriel's Arena, the gridiron, where, Skip Bayless, Keith Talib, Cody Kessler, all them were on there. And this guy, I don't know his name, and I don't really care to know his name, but I think he usually talks on the basketball side, but he's more than like now lately he's been talking on the football side. And he said something as crazy as saying that Jeremiah Love was not worth going in the third pick to the Cardinals because the Cardinals should have drafted a quarterback. This draft is extremely underwhelming. There is no quarterback. I argue there is no quarterback that's even worth going in the first round. I was arguing that I don't think Mendoza should even win the first round. If you know what I'm saying, if this draft was more quarterback heavy, Mendoza would not have been the first quarterback picked. He would have dropped. But this draft is so underwhelming that Mendoza just goes the first round because he wins the championship, and all of a sudden the Raiders they need a quarterback. So I'm just saying that I'm making the case because he's trying to say that Jeremiah Love doesn't deserve to go there, and the Cardinals should have drafted a quarterback. But if they wasn't going, what quarterback is worth going the third pick? You don't just pick you just don't draft team needs just for the hell of it. Like that's the most dumbest thing a person can do. A team can do. The Cardinals did the smartest thing out of all those other two. They was more smarter than the Raiders, and they was more smarter than the Jets. They didn't overthink this. They was like the best player available, Jeremiah Love. Period. Like I said this before, the Raiders they should have got Jeremiah Love. I don't care if they had Ashton Jeanty. They could have had the best 1-2 punch in the NFL for decades to come. They could have had that, but they went on and got Fernando Mendoza, and they better hope Fernando Mendoza hits. Because if he doesn't, it's going to hurt them. It's going to put them right back in the same situation. And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't just draft a need because you don't know, first off, how great this player is going to be 10 years down the line. No, because you're just doing the best player. You're just doing on your needs. But if it was the best player available, you're going to get a player that is the best player on the board that can start right now. That helps your team more than anything. Because that player is one of the best players on your team. not just filling in holes in your team. Your team is going to forever stay average. I don't care if it's quarterback or not quarterback, especially for next year. Especially next year when there's going to be a quarterback heavy draft and it's going to be an extremely talented draft. Now it's just like the Cardinals is like we got Marvin Harrison Jr. We got one of the best tight ends in the league. We got arguably the best running backs in the league. And to be honest with you, they can end up having the best wide receiver in the league because Marvin Harrison Jr. If he lives up to the hype that he's supposed to, they can have the best wide receiver in the league. They can have the best running back in the league, Jeremiah Love, and they can have the best tight end in the league. And boop, all they need is a quarterback. That will be all what they will need. They will just need the chef. They got all the ingredients. They will just need the chef. So whoever this guy is, he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Zero. So I like Jeremiah Love, and I had already told you all that I think he can end up being a Pro Bowl player this year, and he can end up being at least a top 10 running back in the NFL right now, his rookie year. I think he is that freaking good. Period. I do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Thank God he's an NFC because I don't want the Chargers to be going up against him. You know what I'm saying? So that's that, man. And you all remember what I said. Remember this take. Remember this take, because again, I like to go back on what I said and evaluate everything. But hey, let's keep it pushing. We'll just keep going through the first round, and then I'll go through the second and third round on another video. Probably later on tonight or tomorrow. We'll go through the second and third round, and then I'll go back over round 4 through 7. And then after that, I'll try to see, I'll try to do my homework and really go deep into see what players I think are going to be good, what players I think is not going to be good for each and every one of all the 32 fans out there or the different 32 teams. Yeah, not specifically 32 fans, but you know what I mean, 32 fans of the different fans of the 32 different teams. And then so we're just going to keep it pushing. I can go on and on about the Jeremiah Love take. I mean, because I just think it was just ridiculous that whatever he was just trying to make sense out of nonsense, and it was just showing he had no idea what he was talking about. To say Jeremiah Love's take does not jump out is the most dumbest thing I have ever heard right now. So, whatever. But anyway, Carnell Tate. Now, Carnell Tate, he more than likely probably is a little bit overrated wide receiver, maybe. But, I hear mixed things about Carnell Tate. But, hey, I mean, he was the first wide receiver taken. The Titans obviously think that he can help out Cam Ward. I don't think they would have picked up Carnell Tate if they did not think that high. So, and there was other wide receivers on the board, so they went on and got Carnell. So, hey, hopefully Carnell Tate is that guy. I mean, OSU is known for great wide receivers. So, Carnell Tate could more than likely be a really great player. And then the Giants gets Arvell Reese. I don't think that was a bad pick. Best player available. I guess Arvell Reese was the best player available on the board. And then Mansour Delaney, cornerback out of LSU, goes to Kansas City. Now, I will say this. Cleveland traded back. And Kansas City jumped up to get this cornerback. I just think that was kind of dumb on Kansas City. I think Kansas City was being a little bit too anxious here. It was just like, we need a cornerback. I don't think you needed to jump up to the 6th pick. You needed to trade to get a cornerback in the top 6th pick. Like, he would have been there when you got there. I think the Chiefs gave up too much on this. I really do. I don't see the logic in this. I really don't. Yeah, like, you better hope this guy is like a Deion Sanders type or something. I mean, at least a great Pro Bowler or something for you to give up that much to get a cornerback. And to give up that much to get a cornerback when all the other talent was on the board. I mean, Caleb Downs is there. Jordan Tyson is there. I don't know what the Chiefs were doing. I think a lot of these teams, some of these teams did some really questionable picks that was just really dumb. And the Chiefs, all respect to them, but that was just not smart by them. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they see something in Mansour Delaney that we don't. I don't know. We're going to find out sooner or later. We really are. And then I thought this was a really smart pick by the Commanders. Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. He probably went to one of the best teams that he could have went to. I mean, that guy, that coach over there, I forget the coach's name, but he is known for developing linebackers, Bobby Wagner, and I can't think of other linebackers, but he's known for developing linebackers. So that was Sony Styles is going to be great. Sony Styles, I talked about Sony Styles. I was saying that I don't know if he's going to be all that good. But with that being said, I believe I did say that if Sony Styles goes to the right team, he can be great. And he did go to the right team. He went to the Commanders. He could not have went to a better team, unless it was the Chargers. But you know what I'm saying? He did. He went to a great player. I mean, great coach, great situation, great coach. So he is going. Sony Styles is going to be good. And now him outside of the other linebacker or pass rusher out of OSU, he's going. I will almost say that I will almost bet that Sony Styles is going to be good. So Commander fans out there, you guys did a great job on getting Sony Styles. You really did. So we got the Saints getting Jordan Tyson. I think that was a great pick by the Saints. I do. Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. Him and Chris Olave can be really well. And surprisingly, you all got a pretty good quarterback. It looks like Tyler Shaw. And surprising to me, like I think he surprised everybody outside of Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore knew what he was doing, and then you got Kellen Moore there. He's going to be good. You all are in for a treat, Saints. I think you did a great job on getting Jordan Tyson. I really do. You know, he has a pretty nice size to him, 6'2", 203. So that was awesome. That was an awesome pick, Jordan Tyson. And then the Browns, they get an offensive tackle. You could never go wrong getting an offensive tackle. More than likely, they got Spencer Fano. You know, so this is what Cleveland. So I'm like, I don't know what the Chiefs were thinking. Like the Chiefs just traded up a few picks just to get Mence or Delane. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing. But anyway, the Browns they get an offensive tackle, and so that's good. You know, to protect Shador, and then the Giants gets Francis Muaga, offensive tackle out of Miami. Like I said, you can never go wrong getting off offensive tackle, and then unless your trip is picking offensive tackle when it's the best player on the board, you know what I'm saying? I'm always going to be before the BPA, best player available. And then this was a lottery pick. This was a very popular pick, and I think this was a great pick. The Dallas Cowboys gets Caleb Downs, obviously the safety out of Ohio State. That was a really great pick by Dallas. So I thought Dallas did a wonderful job doing this, getting Caleb Downs. And then you got Miami, yeah, and then Dallas and Miami, they traded their picks. And then Miami gets an offensive tackle out of Alabama, Caden Proctor. And then this was a very controversial pick. I can see why the Rams did this, but I don't really think the Rams needed to do this. I think it was really dumb by the Rams to do this. The Rams traded with Atlanta to jump up to get Ty Simpson. I think that was a very hasty pick. I think that was very immature. I think it was very dumb. I'm just going to be completely honest. Ty Simpson should not have been drafted in the first round, let alone in the top 15, and the Rams should not have been the team picking him in the first round in the top 15. I don't know what the Rams are thinking or doing. I get it. Matthew Stafford is getting old. What to do? Who cares? Whatever. He's still a top 5 quarterback, arguably top 1 in the past 2 years, arguably. So, what are we doing here? You don't think Ty Simpson is going to be on the board when you draft next year? I mean, the next round. Like, I don't. I honestly don't know what some of these teams are thinking. I really don't. Is Ty Simpson even that good? I haven't even watched college football. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to be honest and just say no. Right, real quick. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion and say no. He's not worth it. He wasn't worth being in the draft in the first round, let alone top 15. So what's going on here? But the Rams did it. I heard some mixed things about Sean McVay not being happy about it. But now here's the thing. I'm not mad that they got Ty Simpson. I'm mad that how they got him and when they got him. I can understand why they would get him. I just don't understand why they would get him now. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? If you would have gotten him in the second round, third round, okay. But you want to draft the quarterback to back up Matthew Stafford. I understand. You want to do that. I just think I would have risked waiting. I would have went on and got an offensive tackle or another skill set player to plug in, to help Matthew Stafford. That's what I would have done, or I would have went defense to bolster up that defense even more. There were so many guys left. I would have got Olave Vega Iane. I would have got him, guard out of Penn State. I would have just got him. Who cares if you already have a guard, best player available? I would have got Ruben Bain Jr. I mean, yeah, you already got pass rushers, but I would have bolstered it up. I would have just kept it going. You can never have enough. That's the way I think when in football, you can never have enough. There's never enough when it comes to football. Never enough. You got to be greedy, man. You got to keep it going. And the Rams didn't do that. So there was way too many guys left on the block. You had Kenyon Sadiq right there. The next three guys I just named. Vega Ione. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. Guard out of Penn State. He went right after that to Baltimore. The Rams just missed that. Ruben Bain Jr. I heard he's really good. He right next to who we get, Akeem Mesidor. Him and Akeem Mesidor, they was the best 1-2 punch of pass rushers in the entire league, and you missed out on both of them. What are you doing, Rams? So, but Ed, he goes to Tampa Bay. That's a really great pick by Tampa Bay. Kenyon Sadiq. Could you imagine Kenyon Sadiq with Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua? I mean, and they already have a really good tight end. But again, you could have. I mean, you mean to tell me Sean McVay can shuffle up some stuff with that? You just missed out. I mean, I don't know what the Rams were thinking, bro. Like, and then Blake Miller, offensive tackle, going to Kenyon Sadiq goes to the Jets, and then Blake Miller goes to the Lions, and then Caleb Banks, defensive tackle. They could have got Caleb Banks, and I know he's really good because I watched tape on Caleb Banks. Defensive tackle goes to the Vikings. That was awesome by the Vikings. Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle out of Georgia, goes to the Panthers. You had Makai Lemon right there. You don't know how long Devontae. I would have got a backup for Devontae Adams before I got a backup for Matthew Stafford. Tom Brady has already shown you that a quarterback can play forever. Tom Brady has already shown you that. I would have got Makai Lemon if I was the Rams over Ty Simpson. The Rams just screwed it up. The Rams just screwed up their options. They just did that. What the Rams did was really dumb. But hey, Makai Lemon right there on the board. The Eagles, they're like, oh, hold on. Let's lick our chops. We about to jump up. I think the Eagles did the most smartest thing in this entire draft than all other teams. They did a really good job. Because what if the Eagles decide to keep A.J. Brown, which they more than likely probably not. But what if they do? You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Makai Lemon, and they got some other wide receivers too. Bro, that's going to be a dangerous team to mess with, man. They already are a dangerous team. So, Makai Lemon is arguably the best wide receiver in this entire draft. So, I mean, yeah. And then you got the Steelers. They went offensive tackle, got Max. I heard Steelers wanted Makai Lemon, but they didn't get him because obviously the Eagles jumped up and got him. There was a huge trade right there. The Eagles traded down and got that. And then so the Steelers got Max Ionic-Shore, offensive tackle out of Arizona State. And then my squad, the Chargers, get Akeem Mesidor. And I'm just going to say this, edge out of Miami, out of the 22 pick for the Chargers. The Chargers fans, calm down. Just settle your horses, okay? Because I've been seeing a lot of you on social media complaining about not getting a guard. Okay, again, how many times I got to say this? Best player available, okay? He was the best player available for the Chargers. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh thinks that he is a very great pass rusher. We got our insurance policy, our backup for when Khalil Mack wants to leave. And Akeem Mesidor, he is arguably one of the best pass rushers in this entire draft. So, and the only knock on him is his age. He's 25. Who cares? If you can play, you can play. I don't care about your age. I would draft you if you're 40 years old if you could still play. I don't care. You know, if you can get out there right now and play, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like what have you done for me lately? You know, so whatever. I think you all need to calm down about just getting an edge, you're not going to get any better by always by trying to get what you need. You get the best guy on the board, the best guy available in free agency and in draft. That's what helps your team get better. What helps your team get better is getting better players. period. Not getting players that you need. That doesn't help. It doesn't help at all, really. Okay, so just just stop complaining about that, because I'm really looking forward to seeing Akeem Mesidor. He's one of the most, or if not the most versatile pass rusher in this. Well, I think Sonny Styles is, or is it David Bailey, one of those guys? I think they're the most versatile because I think one of them can like play everywhere. But Akeem Mesidor is a really good interior pass. He's an interior pass rusher. He's the best. He's arguably the best interior pass. Well, he is the best interior pass rusher in the entire league. So that was, I mean, entire draft. So you got Khalil Mack and you got Louis Tuipulotu, and then you got Akeem Mesidor right there. That's going to be dangerous. You guys saw what Awe was able to do. You don't think that Akeem Mesidor is going to do that same exact thing, more than probably even better? Come on, man. So he's gonna be hell. Akeem Mesidor is going to be hell. And then another pass rusher. This was a very heavy pass rusher draft. I mean, pass rushers are premium. Pass rusher is a premium position. Malachi Lawrence goes to Dallas. Dallas goes defense again. Philly traded this pick to Dallas. Awesome pick. Awesome pick by Dallas. I think Dallas did a really great draft this year, this round. And then Casey Conception, we talked a little bit about him, wide receiver, goes to the Browns. I think that was awesome. So the Jags get him. And then you got Dylan Theineman. Dylan Theineman, not Oregon, safety out of Oregon. He goes to number 25 to the Bears. And then we got Kalen Rutledge, guard out of Georgia Tech, goes to the Texans. The Buffalo traded that pick away to the Texans. And then we got Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State. We talked a little bit about him. He goes to the Miami Dolphins. San Francisco traded that pick away. And then you got and then we have Caleb Lamu. So he goes to the Patriots at number 28. And then we have Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson, goes to the Chiefs. Okay, that's not bad. They got a backup for Chris Johnson. Chris Jones. And then the Rams traded that pick away to the Chiefs. And then we got Amari Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana, goes to the Jets. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he plays with the Jets. And then we got Keldrick Falk, edge out of Auburn, goes to the Tennessee Titans. And then we have Jadarian Price. Oh, so we have two running backs drafted in the first round this year. And then so we got Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame, goes to, oh wow, two running backs out of Notre Dame goes in the first round. I wonder if that has ever happened before. Two running backs out of the same school goes in the first round. Goes to number 32. We end the first round, and that goes to the Seattle Seahawks, to Jadarian Price. It's going to be really interesting to look forward to see what he does with the Seattle Seahawks. So I will be back. To talk more about this. We're going to talk more about the other drafts. I mean, the other rounds, and we can go a little more deeper. See what we think about how these guys are going to do, how these players are going to play. But I mean, I will give this draft overall maybe like a B plus or B minus. I'll give it a B minus. I think there were some interesting guys on this draft. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these defensive players are going to do. This was a very defensive heavy round. So, yeah. I thank you all so much for watching. Give me your thoughts, your opinions. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll be back very soon. Let me know, are you happy with your team's pick? And why not? Why are you? If you are, and why, if you're not, why aren't you? We could talk a little bit about it. I will look over the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Dante, Tavion Sales. All day, no days off. Deuces. We're back very soon.